Diane Abbott caused a massive stink in July about people saying mean things to her online. During the Westminster Hall debate about intimidation of candidates in elections, she described her experience of being called an ugly, fat, black bitch and cried racism over multiple tweets referring to her as the N-word.
I've had rape threats described as a pathetic, useless, fat, black piece of shit, ugly, fat, black bitch, and nigger. Nigger over and over again.
That's some pretty nasty stuff, yeah? It's not evidence that she's treated any worse by the public for being black. In fact, right-wing male MPs are far more likely to receive online abuse. A new study from the University of Sheffield and BuzzFeed, I don't like quoting them, but yeah, BuzzFeed, it showed that Boris Johnson receives 8 times more abuse on Twitter than Diane Abbott. Is that because he's white? Is he crying because he's white? Her entire political career has been wrapped up in controversy and thoughtless, mean-spirited and derogatory comments about white people.
Yes, I will work to keep Britain safe, and I will also work to fight against racism, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia and anti-immigrant policy.
She makes wild and sweeping statements, accuses innocent people of being racist, and then wonders why people take to the internet to give her a taste of her own medicine. She's also happy to tell blatant lies as long as it makes white people look bad. Look at the recent Justice for Rash campaign. If you can even call it a campaign. Hundreds of people took to the streets. They set fire to bins. They threw projectiles at the police. They claimed that a young black guy called Rayshon Charles was killed by the police. But evidence, yes, evidence, we like that, it says otherwise. CCTV footage shows that Charles was swallowing packets of drugs before resisting arrest. He fell ill and died in hospital. Diane then shared a platform with people holding signs claiming Charles was killed by the police. These lies are the reason people don't like you, Diane. In 1988, during a Black Studies conference in Philadelphia, Diane claimed that the British, yes, the British invented racism. In her own newspaper column, she wrote about 30 Finnish nurses that were working at her local hospital in Hackney. She said that while she was sure they were charming, they were blonde, blue-eyed, white Finnish girls who may never have met a black person, let alone touch one. She suggested that Finnish people were incapable of treating black people and accused them of only coming to England to improve their English. At least they were learning English, unlike half the immigrants that you support, Diane. In 2012, she tweeted, "White people love playing divide and rule. We should not play their game." You know, all white people. Despite making a sweeping and negative statement about the majority population of Britain and an entire race of people, the police said she had not committed a criminal offence. She did face a public backlash though, which she clearly could not handle.
You said white people love playing divide and rule. We shouldn't play their game. I could never imagine Michael saying that, changing that to saying black people love playing divide and rule.
What happens, yeah.
And what would happen if he said it? You didn't speak in code.
That was
quite a race.
Then in 2016, she had the cheek to call 17 million Brexit voters racist. Yes, the race card again. She's got a bollocking for it on Question Time, though.
Well, you said that because they voted leave, they don't like the look of foreign people. They must be racist or xenophobe. I voted to leave the European Union. That was on the ballot paper. It was not because of the colour of somebody's skin or their ethnicity or where they come from. It was to leave the European Union, and you with so much distress.
Her entire career is built on professional victimhood. She was a social justice warrior before there were social justice warriors. She can't do maths either.
How much would 10,000 police officers cost?
Well, over a 4-year period, we believe it'll be about £300,000.
£300,000?
Sorry,
10,000 police officers? What are you paying them?
She blames her diabetes for her disastrous interviews. And she regularly attacks the British people who welcomed her mother into their country as an immigrant nurse.
Every defeat of the British state is a victory for all of us. Now, you were talking about a Northern Ireland context. A defeat in Northern Ireland would be a defeat indeed. Why did you say that?
That was 34 years ago, and I said a number of things 34 years ago, and I now know better as a Member of Parliament of 30 years standing.
So you take that back?
I've moved on since 34 years ago. Have you?
Do you take it back?
I've moved on from 34 years.
So I have to ask, if Diane really does receive as much abuse as she claims, should we really give a shit? Thank you for watching. If you like that and you want to see more, click like and subscribe.